ComfyUI is a tool that lets you use the image generators. That's right, the AI image generators like Stable Diffusion and the really powerful ones that make it look real. You can generate basically unlimited hordes of images. Massive. This is a bulk image generator. You design a workflow that allows you to specify exactly the kind of images that you're looking for, and then you can click go, generate tons of image ideas. You can use this for fashion generation ideas, for e-commerce, for advertisements. You can even for video ideas, you can generate a whole bunch of images. Maybe you're designing a workboard where you want to create like a storyboard. That's what it is. And you can create these images that follow your exact specification, and they make realistic looking images. So you can do all sorts of fun things and scale and have the AI do it for you just by using ComfyUI. This is what you'd want to use it for. We're going to walk through a tutorial on how to install it and use it. You can create images in bulk using the AI system that follows your specification, so you can generate mass quantities of images of all shapes and sizes. You want to use ComfyUI for this because it is the most powerful and modular Stable Diffusion graphical user interface. And it looks like this, which is really confusing looking as all these like designs and pipes going all over the place. Though I can walk you through and tell you that's actually fairly straightforward. What you want to do is install it first. So if you're running on Windows, there's a really easy download button. You click download. You extract the archive. It's a 7-zip file, so it's compressed. And then you go into the directory, and then you run with the NVIDIA GPU if you have NVIDIA, or run with CPU if you do not have NVIDIA on Windows. There are several other options too. For example, if you're running Linux and Mac like I am, you'll want to just run through the manual installation step. Well, you could do that, and we'll walk through that here in a second. The manual installation for ComfyUI is actually kind of, well, it's a little bit involved, unfortunately. If you have to go down this route and you are using a Linux or a Mac system, you'll want to follow the manual installation. So I'm running on a Mac. You open a terminal, you clone this Git repo, then you will install Miniconda, which is sort of like a nice virtual environment thing. And then you can choose to create your own virtual environment and then activate the environment. And then you want to download the dependencies necessary so you can have GPU acceleration, NVIDIA, AMD, and Mac ARM Silicon. And if you've got any other operating system, you can do that. Well, you just copy this command, and it does a pretty good job. You copy that. There you go. You can't skip any of these steps. Then you have to go into the Git clone directory and then run the installation for pip to get your Python packages. And then you launch the service. And that's it. And now you have a GUI that's up and running that looks like this. And you can pretty much start using the system immediately. Actually, there's one more step before you can actually use ComfyUI. It doesn't come with any of the models pre-installed because they are gigabytes. It makes sense. You don't host large binary files in GitHub code repository, so you have to download them manually. Make sure to get started, click on the get started. You will have to download the checkpoint file. This checkpoint file might not be the one you want. You might want to use this checkpoint file because it's got a beautiful, more improved AI model. So you can just click download this save tensors file and then put it into your Comfy models checkpoint folder. And this is the checkpoints folder, but ComfyUI/model/checkpoint. And then put this in there. And now when you want to access the model, you can just set the model value here. And then you will be using the fancy model that can generate beautiful images that look like this. And you can now create bulk images following your workflows. Once you have ComfyUI up and running in your web browser, all you have to do is access it through your local host, loopback 127.0.0.1, port 8188. That one. And now you've got this beautiful GUI that is accessing your GPU to generate wonderfully gorgeous images, and they can be whatever you want, whatever you're looking to generate. You are now having the access to do this. Walking through this really quick, you've got your model selector, which is you just pick your model right here, and then that will go from your checkpoints directory. You've got this is actually kind of neat. You want to say what you want to draw and then what you don't want to have drawn. So you've got a negation and what you're actually after, beautiful scenery, and then I don't want any text or watermarks. And then you put that in through the K-sample, which is randomized, so it allows you to generate random images. And then you feed it through a decoder and then save it to a file. And now that's it. It really is that simple. You can also use ComfyUI from the command line. So you have a command line terminal window open and you're able to execute commands using a workflow in a JSON format, this is how you will go about doing it. You will simply make a JSON file, then you just follow these sort of principles and guides. You can easily snag one of these JSON files just by opening up the terminal window, going to network, and then you want to, here's the default workflow, click Q prompt, and then you will get a, what is it called here, an XHR. So let's do that really quick. We'll queue the prompt. You've got the prompt here, and then you just copy the curl, and this will give you the output. And it will look something like this, so you could save this here directly to a text file, and then execute comfy execute on your workflow JSON file in the output directory. If you really wanted to, you could use ComfyUI and directly through the API with curl on your command line by accessing your local host and port 8188 /API/prompt, and it will be a data post with your entire workflow that's being described, including your model, the K-sampler, encoding, decoding, positive encoding for the text prompt that you want, and then of course the negation where you want to exclude anything that has a watermark or any sort of text in the image, for example. You can do that, but it's a big command. There's a lot. If you really wanted to do it, you could. And so it's really pretty straightforward to be able to issue the prompt directly via curl, and really the JSON workflow overall, that's going to be where the big work comes in. If you want to do it that way, you totally could, and this is how you would do it.